Great Britain's first game of the 2026 World Baseball Classic is in the books, with the Union Jacks crumbling in the ninth, following a valiant effort through the majority of the game, as they suffered a blowout 8-2 loss to Mexico at Daikin Park. Atlanta Braves infielder Nacho Alvarez Jr. opened the scoring with a home run into left center at the top of the second, off of GB's starter Jack Anderson, in what was otherwise a solid performance from the Boston Red Sox prospect. Who else but Harry Ford then equalised in the sixth, tying the game with a blistering strike into deep left field. The game remained tied and a close-run affair up until the top of the eighth, where the fairy tale story came to a close, as Tampa Bay Rays star Jonathan Aranda blasted a Tristan Beck fastball into the Crawford boxes in the short left field for a 3-run homer, after top-of-the-order hitters Jarren Duran and Randy Arozarena had been walked by Gary Gill Hill. The ninth was an abject disaster for Great Britain, as Mexico put up 4 more runs off a 2-run line drive from Alec Thomas into centre field, a Joey Ortiz double into right, and a Randy Arozarena line drive. To add insult to injury, Mexico then brought in superstar closer Andres Munoz, although Trace Thompson was able to drive home the impressive Ian Lewis Jr. with a consolation RBI double. The scoreline really doesn't reflect that for just under 8 innings, Great Britain really were in this game. They had out-hit Mexico by a total of 6 hits to 3, and the pitching staff had done tremendously well against a vastly superior Mexico lineup that featured hitters like Jarren Duran, Randy Arozarena, Jonathan Aranda, and of course Alejandro Kirk. Special praise goes to the aforementioned Anderson, Nick Wells, who pitched 2 impressive shutout innings after Anderson departed the game, Ryan Long, the Baltimore Orioles prospect who had the comeback inning of the game. I was sweating bullets, but he sure as heck pulled it out. And Gary Gill Hill, who despite the poor eventual stat line, had a solid overall outing against Major League competition, an impressive feat for the high A pitcher. Great Britain did have multiple opportunities to, if not win the game, at least put more pressure on their opponents. B.J. Murray Jr. drove into a double play with no outs at the bottom of the fourth after working a 3-0 count against Mexico starter and fellow Cub Javier Assad. In the sixth, a questionable send decision saw Matt Koperniak thrown out at home, missing an opportunity to load the bases following a base hit from Ivan Johnson, with runners already at first and second. And in the eighth, Britain once again were able to get men on base, but to no avail, before the dam finally broke in the ninth. Overall, Great Britain can be proud of their first game despite the lopsided scoreline, though of course they shouldn't be happy. With teams such as Italy in the group who could potentially upset Mexico, yet at the same time be entirely beatable for Britain, qualification to the quarterfinals is not a completely absurd prospect. So, despite the disappointing scoreline and the potential ramifications down the line, it was a rather impressive performance. And on top of all this, we of course had the flair of a WBC contest, an excitable, passionate, and in this case largely Mexican crowd, flamboyant celebrations, and maverick and rather novel interpretations of the strike zone. Looking forward, Great Britain will have to quickly pull themselves together, as tomorrow they face off against Tarek Skubal and the United States. God please save our kings.